to the Bobby Drew Show. How's it going, everybody? Good to see Dave here. We got Bobby Drew and the crew. I got Dave to my left, and I got Brian to my right. Oh, there's thumbs up showing up on my screen. I'm not sure.
What's up?
But welcome to the Bobby Drew Show. Man, there's a lot going on this weekend. First of all, outside of all the sports, you know, we had Easter going on, so busy schedules. Lots of church going on, lots of planning, lots of other things happening. Easter egg hunts, candy falling from the sky. I got some candy right over there that I'll probably be eating as soon as we are done. But we had wonderful church this past weekend. Glory to God. We celebrate Easter to celebrate the risen Savior. So glory to God for that. Thank you, Jesus, for what you've done for us. But Dave, the whole world wants to know what is on your mind and how are you doing today?
I am doing well. Thank you. Thank you, world, for caring.
We're so glad you're doing well. Brian, what is on your mind and how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Of course I'm doing great. We about to repeat. Yes, everybody's been watching. Don't act like you haven't. It's UConn, baby. UConn. Man, every team is supposed to give them a run for their money. Not happening. Bring on Purdue. Bring on Zach Edey. We'll hopefully see you on Monday. Big man versus big man. Join in.
If you can't tell, Brian's a big UConn fan. So, just in case you couldn't tell, Dave, are you a UConn fan?
Absolutely.
He is now.
I am now, thanks to Brian. Listen, they're doing well for me in my bracket, which we'll talk about later. Thank you very much.
Yes, we will. Well, let's do the verse of the week, and then we'll talk about our non-sponsors. How about that?
Absolutely.
Dave, you got a scripture for us?
I got the scripture. Everybody, turn in your Bibles with me to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. You can stand for the reading of the word if you'd like, unless you're driving while you're watching this. Here we go. Paul says, whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of God. So let me tell you, if you're playing college basketball, do it to the glory of God. If you're driving a NASCAR, do it to the glory of God. If you're playing football, whether in the NFL or the UFL or high school, whatever, glory of God. If you're an online sports reporter, glory of God. If you are on the Bobby Drew Show, do it to the glory of God. Everything you do it to the glory of God.
That's right.
Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you.
Amen. Good job.
Amen.
Good job, Brother David.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate that. Whatever you do it for the glory of God. And we were talking about, just before we came on, where all three of us were sitting here talking about some people that were doing some praying at NASCAR. And if you didn't know, you see, NASCAR is still happening. And nobody's talking about it because it's NASCAR. But NASCAR is still going on. Did they race this past weekend? Brian probably knows.
Yeah, they raced last night, 7 o'clock in Richmond. Terrible race, terrible ending. They cheated, but whatever.
Cheated?
Yeah.
What happened?
And this has an NFL tie. Joe Gibbs Racing cheated. Martin Truex wrecked Kyle Larson, and then Danny Hamlin ended up winning because he cheated on the restart.
Wow.
Is that
Denny Hamlin won?
Yeah, again, two. He's got 2 this year. Yeah.
I know that's Brian's favorite racer.
No, it's not. Don't tell stories.
How did he cheat? Is it cheating if you don't get caught?
Oh no, video makes it so you don't get caught, but NASCAR's like the NFL. We didn't see it, but yet everybody else saw it. Whatever.
Referees, man.
Yes.
Don't even get me started about the referees.
Don't get me started on the refs.
Well, we also do have merch. You guys are not aware. We have merch. So go buy it. Shout out to Micah Ford. He's bought almost everything from our store. He's our biggest supporter. So thanks, Micah, for that. We also have, which is not listed on there, but we have the Hoopla shirt. What is Hoopla? It's basketball. That's what basketball is. It's a bunch of hoopla. It's a bunch of nonsense. That's what that is. And that was created by our very own David Lammer. Oh, David Lammer, the other bald guy over on that side. Oh,
Me.
Brian, what are you drinking?
Drinking a little Sunkist this evening.
Ooh, I like me some Sunkist. Once again, I do have the Mountain Dew with Bobby Drew Kickstart. Dave, what are you having?
Cranberry juice.
Oh man,
So good.
that's
Good
all right.
time.
So refreshing. But speaking of sports
It is
that
good.
nobody cares about, one of them did start this week, and well, I guess it was technically last week. But let me put it on the screen here. The MLB had their opening day last Thursday, and it was actually pretty exciting for, the MLB. They had the benches got cleared on opening day.
Awesome.
So that is pretty awesome. Here we have the MLB standings. Remember, it is the first few days, but the New York Yankees, or as what do you call them, Brian?
The Queens.
No.
The New York Queens are 4-0. They have not lost a game. If you look right over here where my cursor is, in their last 10 games, they're 4-0. Then we have our beloved Rays tied for last place with the Boston Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays. I cannot stand the Blue Jays. They have our number. It's just one of those. We're all in the AL East, and we play each other all the time, and I can't stand the Blue Jays. But here's the rest of the standings that nobody cares about. Look at the White Sox. Haven't even won a game yet this year. Trash. The Houston Astros, 0-4. Trash. The New York Mets, trash. Miami Marlins, trash. And that's pretty much it. The Marlins, what's that guy's name? Luis Arise? Is that his name?
Louis Arise, yeah.
Louis Arise. He is struggling in the first few games. He is not doing well. If you have the MLB app, they have this not a sponsor. The MLB app, the MLB does not sponsor us. I don't know why. We're mainly a football show, but they could still sponsor us. Anyways, they have a game on there. It's like a mini game. It's called Beat the Streak, and you pick a batter every day. And if you pick that batter, you're picking them that they're going to get a hit. And he is not doing good. I have not picked him yet because he's like 2 for 16 or something like that. Terrible, absolutely terrible. But the MLB has started, just in case anybody cared, which nobody does, honestly. But you know what people do care about right now?
What?
Hang on. Let me guess. What do people care about right now? Exercise.
March Madness.
Oh, yeah. Not really.
Actually, it's March Madness. Not UConn. It's not UConn. It's just March Madness.
No, it's UConn's tournament. I don't know what you're talking about. So you want me to get some stats out right now, and explain to you why it's UConn and everybody else? I can if you want.
Will you just listen for a second? I had a question in my brain for David because he said exercise, and I was talking about March Madness. But technically, isn't March Madness exercise?
It exercises your brain because it hurts when you're looking at all the brackets.
Well, March Madness is over for me. I have not even checked brackets since, what was it, Friday? I think it was Friday that Creighton played.
Somebody here told you your bracket wasn't very good, but don't listen to me. What do I know?
Yeah, what do I know either?
Okay. I picked Creighton to win, and they have failed me, and I'm eliminated from the bracket. But my other two counterparts here are still in it. They both picked UConn. So If UConn does end up winning, they will both get points for that. But now it comes down to who's going to have the better picks getting to that point. So I'll pull up the bracket here in just a minute. But I know Brian sent a text and requested 30 minutes to talk about March Madness. That request was denied.
Denied. Reapply in 30 days.
We'll give you 10% of that 30 minutes, and we'll give you 3 minutes to speak about March Madness. And here you go, Brian. Here's 3 minutes to summarize March Madness over the weekend.
Okay, I got 3 minutes. So
go for it.
There's UConn, and then there's everybody else. I get it. But in all seriousness, if you've been watching it and you haven't, I don't know why, but NC State, it's pretty amazing what they're doing as an 11 seed. I was kind of hoping that Puke, a.k.a. Duke, would have made it somehow, some way to the championship so UConn could play him and beat him again. But Duke's just not good enough. They don't have players that are good enough. They don't recruit good enough. And Cooper Flagg, you may want to change the school you're going to because Duke isn't very good. They're not going to be good. NC State is the lowest seed to make it to the Final Four since Villanova won the whole thing back in 1985. So, I mean, what they're doing is pretty amazing. And these guys, they were 17-14 going into the ACC tournament, which means they had to win the ACC tournament to get an automatic bid because they would have been in the NIT, so that would have been maybe if they got into that. So they've literally won like 9 or 10 games in a row, but it helps when you play Duke and North Carolina and Clemson. I mean, ACC teams, how hard is that? They're not playing anybody from the Big East yet, so it's pretty easy for them to win. But if we're talking Big East and we're talking dominant, let's talk these UConn Huskies. They've now won 10 games in a row in March Madness by at least 13 points. This year, they've won all their games by a minimum of 17 points, and 3 of those games by 25 or more, which ties an NCAA record. So they are close in these games for a minute, but like they did in the San Diego State game, when they played this last weekend against Illinois and everybody was saying, oh, they're going to give them a challenge. They did. Guys, it was 23-23 with 1 minute and 49 seconds to go in the first half. And then UConn decided to go on a 30-0 run. Guys, this is March Madness. They went on a 30-0. So you went from saying they could lose to, wow, they're really that good. 30. So, okay. So if you take all threes and make them, that's 10 possessions minimum. So that means Illinois had the ball 10 times and couldn't put the ball in the basket minimum. There was times when UConn went and they didn't score. So Illinois had a lot more than 10, but literally it went from 23 all to 53-23. UConn scored the first 25 points of the second half. 25 points. Now, this is a team that had the best scorer, Shannon. This guy, Shannon, he's gonna eat UConn alive. Well, see, what people don't understand is UConn plays defense. They put Stephon Castle on him. Dude had like 7 points all game. Yeah, Stephon Castle got in foul trouble because he was physical with him, but he was irrelevant. He was irrelevant. They had no answer. They're trying to go and dunk the ball on Donovan Clingan, who's 7'2". Okay, their tallest player is 6'9", 6'10". How are you? What are you thinking? You're not going to outjump this guy. He's just standing. He wasn't even jumping. He was just standing there with his arms up. So, and then they're trying to shoot threes. Brick, clank, air ball, clank, back of the rim, heel of the rim, front of the rim, layup, miss. I want to get fouled. Couldn't happen. Game was over. Here's my point. UConn is that good. So get used to it. They're the new dynasty. There is going to be a dynasty in college basketball. UConn's going to win. They're going to repeat. First time since 06-07, the Florida Gators. The only difference is the Florida Gators did it with 5 returning starters. This UConn team had 3 starters go to the NBA this year. The only returners are Clingan and Caravan. They got Castle, who's a freshman. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Newton. I'm sorry, misspoke. Newton. Newton is a fifth-year senior, came from East Carolina. So Klingon wasn't even a starter last year. That's how crazy it is. It was Sonogo was a starter last year. So they just retool and they regroup and they just have a mindset that they're just better than you. They just are better than you. So get used to it. So UConn, do me a favor. Please don't lose next week because, I just remembered, boys. Next Monday, I can't do this. Sorry.
Oh, yes, you are.
Oh, no, I can't.
Why?
Why? There's a championship game.
Yeah, but you're not going to watch it unless UConn's in it, right?
No, I'll still watch it because UConn's going to be in it.
Hey, we know what time that game is?
Yeah, it's normally like 9 o'clock.
Oh, you'll be all right.
Yeah, I'll be all right. No, I would still watch it anyway, but you wouldn't get anything out of me. But yeah, let's go! Woo, champs! You know that
we should do a live stream as the game's going on. Keep his mic muted.
Could you
him on the side and just
imagine what I'm saying?
And then every once in a while, we'll click in and hear him screaming, and then mute.
Hey, that's a good idea. We should do that. That would be awesome.
You should.
All right. So looking at the Final Four, then we got UConn versus Alabama.
Yeah.
Does Alabama even have a chance?
Oh, sure. If you ask everybody, now Alabama's the only one now that can beat. Everybody's been the team that's going to beat UConn. Alabama has 11 losses. Give me a break. Yeah, I'm really worried about Alabama. Their starting guards are 6'2" and 6'3". Our starting guards are 6'5" and 6'6". So when they shut them down and they try to go inside, and Donovan Klingon standing there at 7'2", or you got Alex Caravan standing there at 6'9", and then you got Cam Spencer deciding he's going to take you out. I mean, what are we doing here? When is it going to stop?
Okay, so what you're saying is UConn's going to win later this week. The other game, Purdue, NC State.
My dream matchup is somehow, some way Purdue can win because then you got Zach Edey at 7'4", going against Donovan Klingon at 7'2". But here's the difference: the supporting cast for UConn will dominate. Zach Edey, just like Donovan Klingon's never seen a Zach Edey, Zach Edey's never seen a Donovan Klingon. So that'll be fun. How often, even in the NBA, are big men? You know, they don't even play. This is big man basketball. Sure, go ahead, Dave.
Listen, does Purdue have any problem beating NC State?
Yes, they do.
Oh, really?
Purdue won yesterday by like 6 points. They won very close games. Yeah. And the team that won the Big Ten, Illinois, who beat Purdue, UConn just beat them by 25.
All right. Either way, all I want to say, I want to talk about our brackets.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Hey,
because
you want me to put them on the board?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
You're excited, right? You're excited.
You keep talking, Dave. I'm going to pull it up.
All right. All I want to say is we went into this. You guys approached me. Hey, we're doing this bracket, this tournament of champions. Never even heard of it in my life. I know.
Champions.
What is it called?
Bracket challenge.
Bracket challenge. Oh, tournament challenge.
Tournament of champions.
It's the ESPN tournament challenge. Listen, I know that college basketball exists. Okay. In fact, I know I've bought multiple cars from a Hyundai dealership from a guy that always wears his championship ring from college basketball. I don't even know who he played for, but I know he won in the final or in the March Madness, whatever. He's got championship ring, which is cool. You know, he did the finance work for my vehicle, so you never made it to the NBA. Anyway, I know college basketball exists. I know March Madness exists. All I can say is I am destroying you guys in the bracket. Yes, destroying. Okay, let's look at it. Bobby Drew's got it pulled up. Where is there Mr. Jiggy Fly?
Right here.
Okay, I'm in fourth place. Bobby Drew, you busted, man. You're out.
I'm done.
But you're not in last place. Who's in last place? Our buddy?
This is a TikTok follower.
Who?
the end zone. Oh, who's in last place?
Yeah.
Mike Ford.
Our buddy Micah Ford. Hey, it's all right, man. All I want to say is look at when you look at it, how many points possible are there?
There, it starts out with 1,820.
With the top four, and even add Brian in there. So with the top six, how many available points are there?
Right now, Dave, you have the most possible points with 1,360.
Okay, so my point is, out of the top six, four of us, or two of them I've already busted. All right. And then everybody else picked UConn. So the only thing, how many other people up there that have a potential of beating me picked Purdue to win? My point is, if Purdue wins, do the math for me. Am I going to win this bracket? What do I win?
Nothing.
Hey,
you get to put on the bottom the funny guy tournament challenge bracket winner.
Yes.
Just like fantasy football winner.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
All I'm saying, I have never watched a college basketball game in my life. Except for the 5 minutes that I watched at Bobby Drew's house the other day. But that doesn't even count.
Hey, you watched some of the UConn Marquette game in the Big East Championship when I was there a couple weeks ago. Remember?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That doesn't even count because
it does. It gave you all the knowledge you needed to know.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what I did. I picked the better seeded team, and then if it was close in their rankings, then I went for the upset. That's how I picked my whole bracket system. And it's done pretty well for me so far. Yeah,
you're pretty wise.
If you win, not even you don't even have to win the whole bracket. You're definitely gonna beat me. Between you and Brian, I think you have the upper hand on Brian with the picks because you're the point differential. But when it's all said and done, if you come out on top out of all three of us, instead of the funny guy, you will be the hoopla expert.
Ooh.
Yes, I will win. I will be on top. There's no way the three people in front of me can stay. It's a matter of time.
All right. Well, I think I believe in you, Dave.
I'll let you know in 5 days.
I've always believed in you.
No. 5.
Next week.
Wait a second. All right, for the live stream next week.
No, the 6th. The games. The Final Four is on the 6th.
Well, yeah, but you still have to get to the championship game. So.
Well, yeah, but
which is the Monday.
No, if UConn and Purdue wins, and then I'm set, guys. All I'm saying is I know what I'm doing when it comes to this.
So you're him.
In fact, okay. I feel like this is what I'm going to do on my fantasy draft for our NFL fantasy this year. I'm just going to go with the rankings and projections. That sounds like that's how I'm picking this year.
Yeah, that sounds smart. That'll work great for you.
Well, let's see.
It worked out great for Mikey.
I know that. Well, until it didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mikey. Listen, buddy. First of all, the only reason we're talking about March Madness is because we're waiting for the football season to start. I'm just kidding. But I believe in you, Dave.
Thank you. You're the only one.
Out of the 4 teams left, since I'm already out of it, but us 3 here, we'll take our picks. I think you guys already have your picks because you're still in the bracket challenge.
Yeah.
But so NC State and Purdue. Brian, who do you have winning that?
My heart wants to go with NC State just because I think it's amazing if an 11th seed can get there. But their big guy is Burns. He's only 6'9". I mean, Zach Edey's 7'4", 320. So, but Purdue, man, they can choke at any moment. They lost to Ohio State this year, who had like 14 losses at the time. They were like 14 and 15 or something, or 15. So, all right, I'll go with Purdue because I want to see it. Purdue's going to win.
Purdue. All right. Dave, NC State or Purdue?
I got to go with my bracket pick, Purdue.
All right. I like the story so far, and I don't have a dog in the fight, so I'm going for NC State.
Cool.
Alabama and UConn. I think we all know. The two teams. I'll pick UConn over Alabama. I think we all unanimously pick.
Oh, you went out on a limb there. Woo.
Wow. Well, if you really dive into the stats and you really begin to look at each player, if you know all their names and you know all that's taken, the whole story of the school and how it was founded and who founded it, and if you go back all the way in history to their first championship game ever, you know all of that, then it's easy to pick UConn in this. It's just research. That's all. That's all. It's just research. All right. So NC State and UConn will be in the championship game next Monday, and maybe, just maybe, we might switch up we might set the game up in front of us and commentate it, me and Dave, as it goes on, and have Brian's camera on the side, and we can just watch Brian's reactions, and then we'll do like commercial breaks. Have Brian come check in. He can tell us what they need to do to fix this, and how they need to keep going, and so on. We might do that. We'll throw the idea around, but that'd be a late stream. That'd be
Well, that'd be really late.
I'm not doing it.
Dave's tapping out. He's like, I'm going to bed.
One thing I've learned about college basketball here since the March Madness started is that the last 45 seconds of a college basketball game takes 28 minutes to go happen.
That's only if it's close. The good thing about a UConn game is they're never close, so that won't happen.
We'll see.
We will.
Dave, you picked UConn.
Dave, you picked UConn. Remember?
What did I say?
Well, another sport has kicked off this weekend. It's a big weekend for sports. You had the MLB opening days, and then you also had the UFL, the first ever weekend of the UFL. And you may be wondering, what is the UFL? All of us are wondering, what is the UFL? There used to be the USFL, and there used to be the XFL. But they decided, why compete against each other when we could just combine our forces? And that's what they've done. I watched a little bit of the game this weekend. There was multiple games, but I only watched a little bit of one. It was pretty entertaining. It was not bad. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. And one thing the commentators were talking about was, I noticed this last year when the USFL was on, or XFL, one of the two. I noticed this last year that the competitiveness level was just really low. It wasn't fun to watch. But then when they combined the leagues together, they took the best players from each. It's the competitiveness is more competitive. That's real words. And so they brought the roster levels down as far as the ones that are starting. So it is a little bit more entertaining to watch. And the whole purpose of this was to get to be a feeder league for the NFL. So they're doing it in the spring because they know they can't compete with fall with the NFL. And so they're doing it in the spring, and their idea is to be a feeder league for players, but not only players, but rules. And we saw this take place just last week when the NFL adopted the USFL or XFL. I don't know which one it was, but they use it in the UFL now. They adopted the kickoff scenario or kickoff formation. That's where it came from. So it is pretty cool to watch. Dave, have you ever watched a UFL game? If not, I want to tell you a little bit about it. It's pretty cool.
Well, no, it's brand new. I mean, I've watched the USFL, the Canadian Football League, the Arena Leagues. I mean, I've seen those things. Nothing with this new UFL.
It's pretty cool. So it's pretty much just like the NFL for the most part, with a couple twists. One, when you're watching it live, you get to hear the coaches talking to the quarterbacks on air, so you get to hear the play calls. And then, like the referees, you get to hear their conversations. They have drones flying around, and it like follows the players and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. You get some pretty cool shots. But when it comes, there is no extra points. When after a touchdown, they don't kick a field goal for an extra point. At the 5-yard line, or no, at the 2-yard line, it's a 1-point try. 5-yard line, it's a 2-point try. And the 10-yard line, it's a 3-point try. So it's pretty cool that way.
Well, what actually is cool about that too. So if you're winning by 9 points, it's only a 1-possession game. So that part of it, I mean, the strategic part is pretty cool. I do like that, but I just think in the NFL, they're just too good. I mean, you got to be able to kick the extra point in the NFL. I don't think it'll ever get to that. Well, I think it would be cool to have that option in the NFL because it will change strategy for sure. It changes the strategy of whether you want to go for a touchdown or a field goal too at the end of a game. Like if you have it, like say you're up by like 6 and let me kick a field goal, then it's a 2-possession game, or you're up by 5, then instead of tying the game, you could actually win the game. So maybe that'll change the strategy for some of these teams.
I think that is a cool idea because that's a way, you got to go for the easy points.
Yeah.
Which typically that's going to be the extra point kick.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you had that option, like you said, that could just change the end of games. Late in the fourth quarter, and people, your teams that are just that could be exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine it being a tie game, and it's the fourth quarter. You go down and you score, so you get the 6 points, and then you're not feeling a 10-yard try. You're feeling more like a 5-yard try. So you get the 2 points. There's 2 minutes left on the clock. The other team gets the ball. They go down. They score a touchdown. They can tie the game with a 2-point try, or they can win the game with a 2-point try. I mean, that is pretty cool.
Yep.
But they got a lot of cool features about it. And but Brian mentioned it earlier. The quarterbacks are terrible.
So bad.
Oh, really?
Oh, Dave, they are so I don't even have a word to describe.
Are they college? Are they college?
Yeah, they're former college, but they're so bad. Like, I don't understand. Like, there are old NFL guys or guys that get Cam Newton could play in the UFL.
He would dominate.
He would. Why isn't Colin Kaepernick wanting to play in the UFL?
They make pretty good money too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Dave, they're atrocious. Like, they're saying, the quarterback had a great game. He was 9 for 21 for 180 yards and a touchdown and an interception. Great game, 9 for 21.
Matter of fact, I'm going to bring up some of the scores so we can see how competitive these games were.
How many games do they have in a season? What?
They play 7? Because there's 8. There's an XFL division and there's a USFL division. There's 4 teams in each one. So I think there's 7 games. They each play each other once.
So these were the scores of the weekend. The Birmingham Stallions beat the Arlington Renegades 27-14. The St. Louis Battlehawks, they lost to the Michigan Panthers 18-16. The San Antonio Browns beat the DC Defenders 27-12. The Memphis Showboats beat the Houston Roughnecks 18-12. So, all right, this just for fun. Let's pick a game here. Pick a game. I'm gonna look up the stats.
All right, I'll pick the first game, which is the Birmingham Stallions versus Arlington. The Birmingham Stallions have lost like 3 games in the last 2 years leading up to this year. They're the 2-time champs in the USFL, so they're pretty good. Like, they're a legit. Well, now you guys may have heard of their coach. It's Skip Holtz. Anybody heard of him?
Oh, yeah.
And then Arlington's coach is Bob Stoops. Ever heard of him?
No.
You haven't?
No.
The former coach for Oklahoma?
No.
Really?
Are we talking college?
Yeah.
But I don't follow college sports, man.
You've never heard of
funny guy.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, I mean, whatever. I mean, I have no answer. I don't know what to say. I can't believe you said no. I mean, that's cool. I mean, I guess. But anyway, it's fun because the coaches have more recognition than the players. That's when you know your league's not that great right now. But don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Now, everybody knows the Rams, the LA Rams now used to be in St. Louis, right? The St. Louis Battlehawks play where the St. Louis Rams used to play. And last year, it's the only thing that kept the XFL afloat. They sold out every game. Guys, it's a 39,000 seat, and they were selling out for an XFL. And that's the thing too. Like when you start these leagues, you kind of got to look and see like what the fan base is going to be like.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's how you sustain it, you know. I laugh too because Arlington won the XFL. You know who's close to Arlington? The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh no!
So Arlington wins the championship, and Dallas hasn't even sniffed one.
Oh my God!
So is Arlington better than the Dallas Cowboys?
They might be. Listen, all right. So I have a question. Bobby Drew, you mentioned this. You said these guys are getting paid pretty decent. Like, what are we talking?
Compared to the NFL, not even comparable to the NFL or any other major sport. Average day Joes like us, they're getting paid pretty well. $5,000 a week.
How much?
$5,000 a week.
Oh, okay. For an 8-week season?
I don't know if that's just the season. I don't know if that's just for the season because I think they have contracts. I'm not 100% sure. We got to do more research on this. But.
All right. So one of the things that I look at this is to get talent, to get guys that even want to play, it's going to cost money. You know, it's like, well, there's a lot of guys in the NFL that played in whatever the off league was, right? Guys like Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer, played in Germany or something, some kind of foreign football league, right? And there's been guys that have bounced around and come up. Brian, you talked about a kicker
Brandon Arnold. For the Cowboys.
Yeah, he came out of wherever. So we're going to see talent running through it. The problem is the talent going to be able to stay? And are guys going to want – I guess in my mind, I'm thinking, are these – the guys that are playing in these leagues, is their heart in this that I'm in this league to stay and to play, or I'm working my way up?
It works for all the other sports. NHL has it, NBA has it, and MLB has it. They have a junior league. They have the minor leagues. So these practice squad guys for the NFL, we don't know them from a hole in the wall. How do they know maybe in their contracts where it can't say, I'm going to go play in the UFL during the off season so I could get my name out there, and then maybe they put it out there, and maybe Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson could listen to what I'm saying because I'm pretty smart, like put the name out there. And then they're playing, you got the name on the back, and then an NFL team sees them and they can see what they can actually do in a game, not just in practice. And who knows, but they got to have a junior league. They got to have minor leagues for football players because they say like 1% of 1% makes the pros. Well, this is an opportunity. There's 8 teams. Like, get out there. Quarterbacks, please, get out there. But then again, the NFL, Jimmy Garoppolo has 2 Super Bowl rings for holding a clipboard, and he's made like $140 million. So, come on. He's got as many Super Bowls as Peyton Manning, so whatever.
All right. We got to pick our favorite teams here. What's y'all's favorite team?
Oh, man. Ooh, if we're picking teams,
my favorite team, just because I like the St. Louis Battlehawks.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, then
you tell me why.
Because I love their uniforms.
Okay. Here's the deal. I'm looking at. I got my computer pulled up. I'm looking at the 8 teams. Yeah. The Arlington Renegades.
Their uniforms are cool too, though.
Yeah, but I'm looking at their logo, their Renegades. I'm like, whatever. Yeah. The Birmingham Stallions. Okay. Giddy up. Bobby Drew Watt.
Listen, when I was watching the game on Saturday, it was between the Stallions and the Renegades.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. The Renegades, their logo comes from Canva. If you guys know what Canva is, it's an
Yeah,
app.
it's a program. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Really?
Their logo with the guy with the thing on his face, it's literally on Canva. It's a graphic from Canva.
Oh, that's like one of them programs you get on, and for $5.99 you can buy.
Yeah, and you can do all kinds of different things for your graphics, for your
my
flyers
God.
and stuff. That's funny.
The
Wow.
DC Defenders, lame. Okay, Houston Roughnecks. All right, that's cool. Roughnecks, those are strong. The Memphis Showboats. I mean,
Nah.
you know,
I want St. Louis Battlehawks. I want them to be my team.
that's what I'm thinking. Michigan Panthers. All right, but the Panthers, we already got that in the NFL, don't we?
Yeah,
And
Carolina. Yeah,
the Brahmas. Okay, San Antonio Brahmas.
because that's the Rock's actual team. Yeah.
That is, dude. That's where you go to Walmart and you buy a pair of boots. That's what they are, the Brahmas. I don't want some Walmart team, okay? But the St. Louis Battlehawks, they got a sword and they got wings. They are, listen, Battlehawks all the way, baby.
I'm just because it sounds cool, I'm going with the Houston Roughnecks.
Man, Dave, I wanted St. Louis, man. All right, hold on.
We can both have them.
No,
Yes.
it's fine.
You're both fans.
You can have them.
If I don't do the Battlehawks, I'm going with the Roughnecks. And then Bobby Drew, you got to pick somebody else.
What?
Yeah, no, Brian, you said it first. Everyone else is, I guess I'll go with the Stallion.
Yeah, because I said Roughnecks first.
But the Stallions are the best team, man. They've won forever. They don't even lose. Dude. Yeah.
Does The Rock play on any of these teams?
No, dude, he's like 50-something years old, and he killed somebody.
Bro, so is Mike Tyson. He's fixing to fight.
Dave, come on.
Listen.
Nothing.
You got a problem with 57-year-old people?
I'm not there yet.
Do
so
something?
Let's see.
Man.
Let me see something here. So I got the Roughnecks. I don't care what you say, Dave. The Roughnecks, that's my team.
Let's look at their last game. Let's look at some stats.
I'm pulling it up right now. I'm waiting for the stats to show up here. Because the UFL needs money so bad, when you want to look at the stats, you have to watch an ad.
Team stat. I'm clicking on it too. Let me see. Oh, mine popped right up, bro.
All right, here we go. So the Houston Roughnecks, they got some guy. Wow, what a last name. He went 16 for 21, 157 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He was also their leading rusher. Their quarterback was with 2 rushing attempts and 22 yards and 1 rushing touchdown.
That was their leading rusher.
22 yards.
Do they still do like the same time, like 15-minute quarters, 60 minutes of gameplay? Like,
it's the same thing. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. They lost 18-12. The Memphis Showboats quarterback, he went 23 for 40. That's like Joe Flacco numbers. 204 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception.
All right, tell you what, I'll take the Michigan Panthers. I'll take them.
Why?
I'll let you have the
Battlehawks.
research. I'll let you have the Battlehawks. Michigan, their Panther logo is pretty cool. I kind of like it.
Why don't we have one in Florida?
Where you guys don't even support baseball.
Because there's 3 NFL teams. They wouldn't have a market.
Yeah, that's true too.
So they have, Texas is a big state, I guess,
and Arlington doesn't have a good team around them.
That's true.
That's true.
I'm pretty much backing the Cowboys today.
That's very true.
All right, I'll root for the Michigan Panthers. That'll be my team, Dave. You can have the Battlehawks. That's fine.
Is there a UFL fantasy league?
Oh gosh, please don't start that.
We could start it.
Could you imagine? Hey, we need UFL. I hope someone out there is listening to this, man. We'll help you guys. Just be a sponsor. I mean, we'll start a fantasy football league.
I'll do it.
Come on.
The videos. The Panthers logo is pretty cool. I'm looking at it.
I'm gonna be. I'm rooting for the Michigan Panthers. All right, so we got Roughnecks, Battlehawks, and Panthers.
All right, good deal.
All
So
right.
when is their next game? Let's see.
They play this weekend, Friday and Saturday, I think, or Saturday and Sunday.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't got time to look for. Oh, here's schedule. Here it is. Full schedule. We'll look that up. In the meantime, this is going to help us transition to the NFL, which we're going to talk about. I've got a couple of things we're going to cover there. So week 2, here we go. The Brahmas versus the Showboats. That's Saturday, April 6th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Memphis. The Arlington Renegades versus Dave's team, the St. Louis Battlehawks. That's Saturday, April 6th at 8 p.m. But unfortunately, I think the Final Four will be on during that time.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough competition there. It will be on ABC. So, Dave, you can't. We can watch that there. ABC. Birmingham Stallions versus the Michigan Panthers. Brian's team.
Panthers!
Sunday, April 7th, 12 p.m. Detroit, Michigan. That's going to be on ESPN. Houston Roughnecks versus the DC Defenders. Sunday, April 7th, 4 p.m. in Washington, D.C. Yeah, all right. So Defenders are going to lose this week because they're playing against the Roughnecks. That's my team. But anyways, if this is going to be a feeder league for the NFL, let's feed this right into the NFL and let's cover some things. I don't know all the details on it. We were talking about it a little bit beforehand. But for anybody that may be watching, and even if Rashid Rice is watching, I want him to be watching this because, there's just some things you shouldn't do. And this is one of them. Brian, what happened over the weekend?
Well, Rashid Rice and his buddies were racing, and it's my mistake. I misspoke in the pregame, Dave. He wasn't in the Lambo. He was in the Corvette. He has the Corvette. He was racing the Lambo. So him and his buddies were racing. It was 6:10 at night in Fort Wayne, Texas, where he's from. And in the middle of all this traffic, these guys are going 100-something miles an hour and run into like 6 cars. By the grace of God, nobody died. Thank God. But these guys decided to just roll out of the car and walk away and just left the scene of an accident and never turned himself in. They knew they were looking for him because obviously you can look the VIN number, look it up. But lo and behold, someone turned in a dash cam video, and all of a sudden now he has a lawyer and he's cooperating with police. The only reason why he's cooperating or has a lawyer is because video doesn't lie. So they saw him get out of the driver's side. They saw him walk away, and you left the scene of an accident. Bro's in trouble. Now, if the NFL is going to fake suspend Tom Brady for air that goes out of a football when it's cold, because I live in Kentucky, when it gets cold, we have to put air in our tires the next day. It's amazing how that works. Then let's see what this guy gets. And I don't want to hear anything about, what about the Kansas City Chiefs? I don't care about the Kansas City Chiefs. What about all the people that he injured? What about Rashid Rice could have died? Like, what about the human side of this? Thank God nobody died, but bro, your friends don't care because you're the one that loses everything, not them. So now you probably won't have friends because you're going to lose money. So let's be smart about this. You have a lot to lose, and you're going to get suspended by the NFL.
Yeah, big loss. I mean, if he probably will get suspended, most likely. If not, possible jail time too, depending on what happens. But that's a big loss for the Kansas City Chiefs in the aspect of the organization.
Yep.
And off the year they just had, Rashid Rice really stepped up, and now they have Hollywood Brown there, which he's gonna hit Hollywood Brown with Rashid Rice. Halfway decent receiving core, halfway decent. Patrick Mahomes can make them look like Hall of Famers. But go ahead, Dave.
So let me ask a question about the accident. I have some questions. So number one, I saw the video of the accident. All right, the dash cam footage or whatever. Was he? I know he was racing. Was he the at-fault driver? Like
they both were. They both hit cars.
Like at the same time.
Yeah, it was pretty much like bam, because they tried to weave around and they just couldn't make it.
Well, and so what's going to happen? So here's what he's facing: thank God nobody died, because then we know what he's facing, because
Henry
this
Ruggs.
happened to Ruggs, and now he's in prison, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And so lost his career, lost everything.
Yep.
Somebody died, terrible, tragic.
Yep.
Somebody got injured, went to the hospital. It's a traffic accident. These things happen hundreds of times a day throughout the country, if not thousands. It happens, but this is one of those stupid things that shouldn't happen. There are areas where you can go race your cars, your private cars. Do it on a track. You can pay for it. Listen, so whatever he's going to face from the NFL, the Lambo SUV, like 300 and plus, it's a $400,000 vehicle.
Right.
All right. Who's paying to fix that? Not to mention the Corvette. What kind of Corvette was he driving? Was it a newer one?
Oh yeah, it was. It was probably one of the top notch. He probably had extra stuff done to it. Yeah.
Yeah, those things for sports cars, for like an exotic type sports car, they're relatively cheap. Not like a Lamborghini or whatever, but still $100,000+ for that vehicle. So here's money to change.
Yep.
What about the other 4 vehicles that these guys were in fault? Your insurance rate, I think if you are involved in an accident, it depends on the state and the laws and everything, but it's like you can go to jail for that. It's a criminal, you get a criminal citation for it. So there still could be jail time, even if he goes and he bails out. You can still get arrested. He's probably going to have to go to court. All this stuff is just, how much money is this guy making? The people that were injured, there's going to be lawsuits. This is going to drag on for years. We may never hear anything more about it, but it's going to affect his life in the near future for a while.
Yep.
Whether what the NFL does, we'll see. He's probably going to get a junk suspension for like 4 games or something.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to follow. So we'll keep up with that, because that's going to impact football. It's going to impact the Kansas City Chiefs offense. All that stuff. Terrible thing. Rashee Rice, don't do that stuff, man. Just don't do that.
What's up with that?
Yeah, what's up with that? We should have done a what's up with that segment. What is up with that? Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. But also, going on to even more sad news. Sad day for the NFL. Vontae Davis, he was a defensive back in the NFL, famous for retiring at halftime. 35 years old, has passed away. So let's have a moment of silence. Sad to hear that kind of news. Sorry to the family. Condolences go to the family. That's never something good to lose a family member like that. But he will always be remembered for retiring at halftime. That was one of the craziest things. Like, he walked in at halftime and he didn't come back out. He just said, "Peace out. I'm done. I don't want to do this no more." So
I think his official statement was, "I don't need to be out there anymore."
How old was he when he retired? Do you know?
I don't know. Was it last year or he played 10 years? It was last year, wasn't it?
No, it was
a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was recent, but not too crazy recent.
But it wasn't this last season then.
No. Other news in the NFL: Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys are in. Well, who's in trouble here? Dak Prescott or the Dallas Cowboys, or are they both in trouble?
I know Dak's not in trouble because he's going to get paid either way.
Yeah,
he's going to be the highest. He's going to be the highest sought after free agent. I don't care what he says. Dak Prescott leaves the Cowboys. There's 28 teams that are looking at him, because there's only 2 teams that won't really care, and that would be the Bills and that would be the Chiefs. Other than that, he's just as good as anybody else. I don't care what you say.
And Green Bay Packers, we're fine.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because we're set for the next 3 years with Baker Mayfield.
Oh, interesting.
He did all right for us. Listen, we went 9-8 and won the division.
Would you rather have Baker Mayfield or Dak Prescott?
I'd rather have Dak Prescott.
Brian?
Oh, Dak Prescott.
All due respect to Baker Mayfield, but hey.
Yeah, there's levels to you hear a commentator say this all the time. There's levels to this thing. There's levels to this thing. And there is levels to it. But yeah, so Dak Prescott, the news came out that I think it was Jerry Jones said, both parties are at an understanding of his contract situation, and they are not seeking to extend him. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but that means if he is not re-signed or not extended by the time it's all said and done, it's a $95 million cap hit for the Dallas Cowboys. Who in the world are you going to bring in any position when you have a dead cap of 95 million? You can't. You're not going to be able to pay anybody.
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
What? Oh, geez, Dave. No.
He wants to play in the NFL. Where's he going? Is he going to the Patriots there, Brian?
I wish. Don't get me started because he still could have had Justin Fields, but whatever.
I think he's going to stay in Dallas.
I think he's staying in Dallas too because, I mean, Cowboys can talk to him nonstop. They don't have to wait for the free agent period or anything like that. There's no tampering. I think he stays in Dallas too. It's just they're going to let him play out the contract. Nothing wrong with that. Because if he balls out, see, here's the thing though too. Dallas, Jerry Jones think, well, we always lose. Now what's he gonna? Here's the problem with Jerry Jones. If they go ahead and somehow they win the Super Bowl this year, Burrow's making $100 million a year now. It's the Dallas Cowboys. They got the first. We think Cowboy fans are obnoxious now. Cowboys win the Super Bowl. Oh my goodness!
No, not even. They don't even have to win the Super Bowl. They make it to the NFC
Championship
game.
Dude. Oh man. Oh, could you imagine? I know there's fans that can be obnoxious, but oh Lord, have mercy. Oh wow.
Man. So if I understand right, this season coming up, this is Dak's last contract year. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So okay, let's speak hypothetically here. Let's say plays the year out, has a great season. What if Dak says, you know what, I don't want to play for Dallas anymore. I don't want to do it, and he's not going to play on the franchise tag, or Jerry Jones comes out and says, you know what, we feel like we want to move on, so on, whatever. Out of the teams that we know of right now, because we don't know what's going to happen throughout the seasons, but as of right now, as they stand, give me 3 teams, each of us. We'll pick 3 teams that you think Dak Prescott would be a good fit for, and that they would also go out and try and get him. I'll start, I guess. One, Minnesota Vikings. They need a quarterback. They can survive a year and say, you know what, if it's played out that way, if they survive 1 year, whatever, they get Dak Prescott come in. They got a rookie. They draft a rookie or something. He sits on a rookie contract. Dak comes in, so on and so on. So definitely the Vikings. That's one for me. And then, man, after that, the Denver Broncos.
How about the LA Rams?
They're gonna need it. Yeah, Stafford's almost done.
Dude, I don't. If Dak comes out and he's gone and he says I'd love to play in LA, bye, Matt. You know what I'm saying? Dak's got 6, 7, 8 more years. Stafford's done, and you put him with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Oh my, and that running game. Oh my! I mean, come on, man. Dak, and it's an indoor stadium. It's warm weather.
Well, the weather doesn't matter if you're indoors.
Bro, I'm talking about the other teams in the division. Arizona. Oh, I guess Arizona. Well, no, they can open that stadium up. Yeah. San Francisco's usually. I get what you're saying because they're indoors. But what I'm saying is that teams that they're going to play, half of the games are going to be warm weather. But I don't think that bothers them that much. But I had the Rams. I had the Broncos, and my sleeper team is I have the Seahawks.
I thought Seahawks too, possibly.
Mm-hmm. So
they need somebody. Dave, who do you got?
I mean, listen. Once Aaron Rodgers finishes out his career with the Jets, I think they could use. You don't think? Yeah.
No,
they're going to be looking for somebody. They would be the kind of team, obviously, that's going to go
loaded
for the veteran quarterback that's got even some years left in them. Okay. That's what they did with Rodgers.
Yeah.
And I think it comes down to where does he want to go?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that he's not going to want
the teams you guys said make sense. From the Broncos, the the purple
Ram.
or the
Incarnation.
the purple, your evil nemesis in your division there, Vikings. Why couldn't I think of that? Jeez.
Because they're irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know what? I like the Vikings. No, that's not true. I like Kirk Cousins.
He's in your division now. He's a Falcon.
I know. Now we're gonna have to
not like him.
I don't know if we can go 9-8 and win the division again this coming year.
I know. Hey, let's do our top 5, man. Come on, I want to get into this.
I think LA would be good. Let's go.
We'll get into it. And just because I know Brian and Dave, you both hate Aaron Rodgers with a passion, but he did get brought up in that conversation, so that opens the door for me to say one thing. Brian, you said they were loaded.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk going on about Alan Lazard, being trash and all that stuff. Listen, I understand, but there's sometimes where we've seen it with Tom Brady. Look at some of the receivers throughout Green Bay that came and played with Rodgers. They went elsewhere. They were nobodies. There's sometimes a quarterback just makes a wide receiver look really good, and I think Alan Lazard is a perfect example of that. And Green Bay, he had two seasons, I think, 2 or 3 seasons with Rodgers, and he was a weapon. Everybody, you had to plan against him, stuff like that. He goes to the Jets, and he has 1 season where without Rodgers, and everybody's like, man, we need to cut this guy.
Yeah.
But just wait. Fantasy football, if Rodgers is 100% healthy and comes back, Alan Lazard is a good late-round steal, possibly. Just to put on your bench, keep him, see what happens. Yeah. There's fantasy football advice for you. But we're going to do a top 5. Top 5 running backs in the NFL. These are current running backs that are playing right now. So what we're going to do it is I'm going to say my top 5. And listen, top 5s are really hard. Top 10s, easy. Top 5s, it's a different beast because there's a lot of good players. And I thought it would be easy. When we were talking today, I was like, running backs, because when you think running backs, there's probably 1 or 2 names that pop up in your head. You're like, these are the best running backs in the league. But then when you start looking at names, you forget about like, oh man, these other guys are actually pretty good. So this is what I got. And Dave and Brian are going to critique me and grade me on this. You guys ready?
Ready.
I have one question. Are you putting these in order? Like number 1 is this guy. Number 2 is this guy. Okay.
Yep.
Just for fun, I'll put them in order. And I am taking into account injuries as well, just because that does affect stats. But we can't forget their talent either. You'll see what I'm talking about. So, top 5 running backs. Number 1, CMC, Christian McCaffrey. You can't. I mean, the guy. I was looking at stats, rushing wise. He is not the top rusher in the last 5 years. But when it comes to rushing and receiving, he's got it hands down. It's not even close. So I got CMC 1. Number 2, Derrick Henry. Number 3, Josh Jacobs. Number 4, Nick Chubb. And number 5, Jonathan Taylor. That's my top 5 current running backs in the NFL.
All right, you want me to go first, Dave?
Yes.
You can't have Nick Chubb. The dude has 1 leg.
I know.
His knee bends the wrong way.
I understand.
1 leg. Actually, your list isn't too bad because I had CMC, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Josh Jacobs, and Jonathan Taylor. Those are my top 5 just with play calling and what they do. And like you said, health-wise, Kamara he was suspended for the first, what I'm saying? So he had it. So your list was, but bro, I'm not gonna lie. You putting Chubb in there, dude has 1 leg. So I mean, your list was actually pretty close to mine. Order was a little off, so I'll give you a B+.
Dave, what do you got? All
right. First of all, I knew. Okay, and this was my question: are we just? Well, let me ask you this: how did you base these? We know why you picked Christian McCaffrey for number 1 is because you're in love with this player and he won you a championship this year or last year fantasy. I get that, but everyone else, are you going on stats, or like what are your thoughts? Because
Like for me, I'm going on stats, but I'm also going on game plan and usage. Like, or like even a decoy. Like when Derrick Henry comes in on the goal line, you know what's going to happen. They're gonna run it down your throat. But like Jonathan Taylor, like when he wasn't being used, did nothing. Like the team did nothing. Then when they realized he was Jonathan Taylor, the Colts took off last year. So that
played like 10 games last year.
Right, because in the beginning they didn't do anything. Then they put him in, and he was like they were lights out, the Colts. So I mean, it's an opinion thing anyway. I mean, it's just kind of how you feel. But that was what I was basing it on, not just stats, but like what do they do for the team.
All right, Bobby Drew. So Christian McCaffrey. All right, agree. What about Derrick Henry? Okay. What were your other picks? Give me your order again.
CMC, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb, and Jonathan Taylor. So
I'm giving you a C+ because I'm giving you a C+ because you frustrate me, and I'm the teacher giving the grade, so that's what you get. All right. However, I hope I get the first pick in the draft this year.
Who would you take? I mean, you have the first pick, so it don't matter if you have the first pick. Who would you take, Dave?
Yeah, Dave, who you taking?
Jalen Hurts?
Patrick Mahomes?
No, I'm not. No, listen, I'm talking about the first overall pick.
That's what we're asking. Who would you take? Who would you take?
See, I want to say Christian McCaffrey, but you know what? I got a feeling.
Right? Yeah.
I got a feeling I'm going to do that, and he's going to have like this last season was like a one-off.
Yeah. It was the first year he was healthy all year. Yep.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. What about you? You didn't bring up anybody like who's the running back for the Rams?
Kyron Williams.
Because
he's not my top 5. That's what I'm saying. If you have the top 5, explain why his list is silly. Tell him why you got a C+.
Well, I'm looking at the like guys that were like 1,000-yard rushers that only played 12 games.
Yeah. What now, Bobby?
Huh? Yeah. What now, Bobby Drew?
Kyron Williams.
Kyron Williams.
So you would rather have Kyron Williams over Jonathan Taylor?
Yes.
Over Nick Chubb in his one leg, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I take it back. Over Nick Chubb. Wait a minute. Who's his quarterback? Dak Prescott or what's the other guy? Stafford.
Well, Dak Prescott could be his quarterback if the Cowboys are wrong. Yeah.
Let's see. Nick Chubb versus.
What about Raheem Mostert?
He's not top 5.
He's not top 5?
No way.
No,
because he's got a running back that runs just as much of him on his team. A-Chain. Yeah.
Yeah, and he still runs 1,000-yard season.
Bro, ain't nobody saying he's in the top 5. I'd give you a D.
No, stop it. First of all, Brian, we're not grading me. We're against Bobby Drew. Right now, me and you were supposed to be
fair enough. His list was terrible when he put a one-legged running back on there. So he
D+.
Yeah.
I felt bad for Chubb, man. I watched that video over and over again. His leg bent in the wrong way.
I mean, it was brutal. Yep.
Okay, well, listen. So Nick Chubb, last year, he only had the 2 games, all right? But the years before that, so 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, all over 1,000 yards. He had one season over 1,500 yards. And 2019, 8 touchdowns. 2020, 12 touchdowns. 21, he had 8 touchdowns. 22, he had 12 touchdowns. And he was averaging, this is crazy. This dude was averaging, not one of those seasons did he average less than 7 yards a carry.
That's great, but we don't even know if he's ever going to come back and run again, though.
He'll be back next season.
Okay. Well, it's like the second time. He had this injury in college, too, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a pretty bad injury. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why it was crazy. But, hey, listen, your list was pretty good. It just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, C+ all the way, though.
And last season, the 2 games he did play, he had –
game and a half.
He had 28 carries, 170 yards. So –
Wow.
on a leg that was about to snap in half.
Was that one of them hip drop tackles?
Actually, it wasn't.
No, it was just weird. It was just all around weird. Yeah.
That was painful to watch. I watched it 15 times probably.
Hey, speaking of terrible lists that people put out, Dave, you remember when we did our top 10 quarterbacks and you put Brock Purdy at number 4? Remember that, Dave?
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Okay, but no, listen. I'm going to give you props because the NFL gave out their performance awards. Like they give out performance bonuses. So Brock Purdy made $985,000 last year. Bro just got a check today from the NFL for performance. Do you have any idea how much money he got? Just take a guess.
$1 million.
Close. $739,795. He made 71% of his salary in bonuses because he was that good this year.
Well, so how does that work? Is this like contract, whatever?
It's sort of contract, but it's NFL stuff too. Like it's probably like bylaws of how they work the salary cap and all that. Like if you hit certain milestones, but this is actually paid by the NFL, not the owners. So it's the highest one ever, like for compared to a salary to what a bonus is, because normally somebody that makes $985,000 doesn't have a team that's stacked. So,
Bro, okay.
His team's stacked. His team's stacked. Come on.
Yeah, it is fine, but it worked. How many other stacked teams are out there that have quarterbacks that can't get it done?
Well, how many teams have Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle? That's stacked. That's really stacked.
Yes, I agree, but
they went with Jimmy Garoppolo a few years back with the same team, and they choked. Brock Purdy choked. He doesn't deserve it. He's a choker. I mean, he couldn't win the big game. He can't be that good.
Sounds like somebody I know.
Kirk Cousins.
Well,
him too.
There's a couple names, I guess. One of them starts with a D. Dak.
Prescott.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Bigger choker than Dak Prescott. Just saying.
He is. It's sad. It is sad.
Well, hey, Lamar's been an MVP, right? How many times? And how many Super Bowls does he have? How many AFC championships does he have?
Bro, why are there balloons going off on your page, dude?
How did I do that?
That was interesting.
What did you do? All of a sudden, balloons started going up.
What's going on here? I don't know.
That was kind of crazy.
I'm going to have to go watch the replay on that and see what you did.
Yeah. Well, we'll save the I know we talked about doing possible teams, who they're going to draft. We'll save that for another show. Yeah. But just for fun, before we end here, bonus question. I'll give you a penny for every player you get right. And it's going to total your possible total winnings of 3 pennies. Can you name the top 3 rushers in the NFL of all time? Yardage, going by yardage.
Emmitt Smith.
1. Dave's looking it up right now.
Frank Gore.
Oh, he's number 3.
Ooh, so who's number 2?
Ooh.
Oh,
not Walter Payton, is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Woo!
No,
I got them all.
Not
bad. And that's not looking it up either.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty good.
And the Frank Gore, Dave's like, who's Frank Gore?
Frank Gore is. He played for the 49ers.
He played for everybody.
Every team in the NFL.
Well, listen. Honorable mention. How about Barry Sanders?
Yeah, number 4, Dave. I wonder where you got that from.
Dave, I don't use Google, but I use this.
Adrian Peterson.
It's crazy though. So Emmitt Smith had 226 games played, 18,355 yards.
Wow.
Frank Gore, 241 games, 16,000 yards. Wow. That's crazy.
Yep.
Well, I think we covered everything tonight. Next week we'll know who is going to be in the championship game. We'll discuss it. We'll see how we want to roll with that. We might do something special. I know, Dave, you might not be able to stick around that long for that one, but maybe we'll do a live stream while the game's going that starts at 9 p.m. or like 9:05 or something. Let me check. What time does that game start?
If we're doing that, I'm coming to your house and with the bucket of chicken wings or something.
It doesn't say, but we'll think of something as it gets closer. I'm sure if UConn is in it, if UConn is not in it, Brian probably won't want to do it. But if UConn is in it, we might come up with something special. We'll see. But I don't know, guys. I don't have anything else. You guys have any last words for the people before we head out?
Yeah. Tell a friend, like, share. Oh, yeah, we've been talking about this. I think even Bobby Drew mentioned it. As soon as we get 500 subscribers, we are going to pick one subscriber and they get, what was it?
A $50 Amazon gift card.
From Bobby Drew himself.
Yeah.
You could get not $500. We're giving how many? We're giving away 500. What is it?
We're giving you
one.
When we reach 500 subscribers, we're going to give away one $50 Amazon gift card.
Yes, not to the 500th subscriber. It's going to be, we're going to randomly pick.
So tell your friends, get them on.
Yeah, subscribe.
And stay subscribed, because once we get to 1,000, we'll do another 50.
Listen, you subscribe to this show and you could literally make tens of dollars. Okay. Think of what you would buy on Amazon.
It's true.
Not as fun.
Mother's Day is coming up.
It is.
That's right.
Father's Day is coming up.
$10.
Grandparents' Day is coming up.
Grandparents' Day. My birthday's coming up.
Yeah, it is. Your birthday is going to be old.
Yeah.
You're going to be. No, you're not going to be 30 this year. 29.
Very close. But that's
29.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm on my 40th year of serving Jesus, and this kid's 29.
I wish I was 29 again.
I don't want to go back.
I don't want to go back. I want to be here today, but 29.
At 29?
Yeah.
With everything I have right now.
That would be nice. Very nice.
That'd be interesting.
22-year-old kid. What?
I was thinking the same thing. That'd be interesting.
3 kids at 29 and you got a dog
and an in-law now too. Wow, yeah, that would work.
Daughter-in-law, beautiful, sweet daughter-in-law.
That'd be a very interesting scenario, Dave.
Yeah,
and that's where we've been on too long when we start talking about hypothetical situations about life.
I gotta go, guys.
Yeah, it's time to go. He's past his bedtime. All right, y'all. That's all we got. Peace out.
UConn.
See you next week.
Oh, by the way, 28 times.
UCON.
UConn.
Yeah! Let's go, Huskies! Woo!